Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I am back with news that, quite frankly, might not actually be particularly good news. And for that, I'm very, very sorry. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I've been hearing from a couple of stores over the past week or so that Morpeko box, which is coming in April, is looking to be extremely heavily allocated. Now, I do want to be super clear before we start this video off and have too much of the panic. We don't know. Things can change. The box isn't releasing till April. It's 2 months away. We've got time. However, we are at that stage where stores are starting to put in orders for these new products, and I have heard from a couple of stores that they are able to order free boxes. And when I say free boxes, I don't mean free boxes of free Morpeko V-Union special collections. I mean a case, and a case has 3 of them in total. Which means that there are some stores out there, littler stores, that are literally getting 3 of these, and that's all they're getting. Now, there may well be reprints later down the line, we don't know. There may well be extra stock allocated, we don't know. Things might not be that bad. However, I pride myself on bringing you the news as and when we have it, and I have heard from a couple of reliable stores that they are only able to order 3 of the Morpeko V-Union collections, and that could lead to very low stock, at least on release. And if you guys are following this for the latest news, this is something you need to know, because there are decisions that need to be made. For me, I don't have infinite money to spend on Pokémon products. So, for instance, when the Glaceon and Leafeon V-Star collections come out, I need to jump on them, because everything we were hearing, and I shared that with you on this channel, was the stock was pretty low and we needed to get them sooner rather than later. So I went and ordered them. I opened them on the channel a couple of days ago. If you haven't checked out that opening, please go and do so. Whereas things like Brilliant Stars, look, I love me some Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars looks amazing, but there's only so much money in the budget. So the free pack blister promos, you know, you got Leafeon and your Glaceon, the Rokucheke promos. You know I've pre-ordered those already, yeah? That shouldn't be surprising anyone. But in terms of getting booster boxes and things of that nature, booster boxes are always available for weeks and weeks and weeks. Ever since Battle Styles came out, booster boxes have not been particularly hard to get hold of. Pre-Battle Styles, we did have a bit of a moment there where things were a little bit awkward, but that's kind of in the past. Booster boxes of new sets have been pretty easy to get hold of lately, so for that reason, prioritise the boxes like Leafeon and Glaceon, and if I want to get a booster box of Brilliant Stars, I can do so a little bit later. For me, that's been the decision, and that's essentially why I'm sharing the information with you here. We are 2 months out from the release of the Morpeko V-Union collection, so that means that if you have a local game store with whom you are friendly, or things of that nature, then you can start getting in touch with them now and just being like, hey dude, are you getting these in? What are the numbers like? Any chance I can get down on the list? So hopefully you can be prepared, start looking out, and be on the ball. Now, actual confirmed allocations, as in what is actually being sent, they're not going to be confirmed for a few weeks yet. What you will find is that some stores put their pre-orders up when they order, assuming they're going to get everything they order. That might not be a great idea. And other stores, and I think this is definitely the way to go, don't put pre-orders up until they've actually had confirmed allocations of exactly what's arriving. And like I've said, I do think that's a better way to go. The thing is, I told you that the stock of Leafeon and Glaceon V-Star boxes was going to be low, and incidentally it has been. They have not been the easiest products to find. But nor have they been the most difficult. The store I was going to get these from ended up not getting any stock in at all, which was very sad, but I was able to go online and find a store that was selling these for retail and had them both in stock, and I ordered it from them. And when I was looking, I found a couple places that were in stock. That doesn't mean I can walk into any shop that I like and these are available. It does not mean that these are going to be as easy to find as, say, for instance, a booster box of Brilliant Stars, which, like I say, booster boxes nowadays are really not that difficult to find, but it does mean that they are out there. And it's not perfect, and it's not ideal, but they have been out there. And, you know, one of the larger online sellers that I'm not giving a plug to because I just don't really like them. They had both the Leafeon and Glaceon V-Star boxes in stock on their website for, well, essentially retail, and they were just plenty in stock and ready to go. Now, it's been a couple of days. They have since sold out. Whether they'll come back or not, I don't know. I'm not saying that the Leafeon and Glaceon V-Star boxes have been easy to get hold of. I am saying that when I looked on Friday, which was release date, I found a couple of different stores where they were online. They're all sold out now, and whether they come back or not, I don't know, but they were not quite as bad as we feared. But when I say they weren't quite as bad as I feared, what I mean is this. They're not everywhere. They're not the easiest thing to find, but if you kept your eyes open and followed a bunch of online stores, you would have seen them go online and had a chance to buy them. That's what I mean. And it looks like we might be at that stage or worse for Morpeko. And maybe there's a reprint, I don't know. But the thing is, Morpeko's a new card. Morpeko is a card that we've never seen before. And in fact, the only place to get Morpeko V-Union is here. Now, there is a weird question. And the weird question essentially is, what about the character rare? What about the special art version? I don't know. We had this conversation the other day. I have no idea. It's extremely weird to me. Obviously, over in Japan, this was a card that was released in VMAX Climax. And if you pulled one part of the V-Union, you got all four parts. That was just the way it worked. Well, they also had the character super rare, and when you got one part of that, you got all four parts of that. But that's not in this box. And we talked about this the other day. We don't need to go down that road too far again. But I don't think there's going to be a second collection. And I'm not sure they would put it in the set. I'm not sure if we ever get that. And that's really sad. Prove me wrong, Pokemon. Prove me wrong. Now, the question then becomes, well, all right, Wazzy, if this is a brand new card that can't be found anywhere else, and stock of this might be very, very low on release, is that going to affect the competitive climate? Well, the good news is you only ever need one of these. So whereas Leafeon and Glaceon, potentially you could make a deck of them and need 4 of the boxes to get a 4-4 line of Leafeon and Glaceon, that is not the case with Morpeko. Each corner of the card counts as the name Morpeko V-Union, and essentially what that means is that you can only have 4 of the corners in your deck, so you can only have 1 in your deck, so competitively you only ever need 1. And it's a V-Union, so when it gets knocked out you give up free prizes, and it's not a stunning card. For 2 colourless energy, you draw until you have 10 cards in your hand. I will say there is a wonderful combo with that new double turbo energy, because it's a double energy, double colourless, that means you do 20 less damage with your attacks, because you don't damage with Morpeko's attacks, it really doesn't matter, and this is clearly a useful thing. Outside of that, lightning double colourless, discard all energy attached to this Pokemon, deal 100 for each energy discarded. If Flaffy decks end up being really good, there is a lot to love here. But Flaffy decks are not proving to be very good, and that's, well, to put it euphemistically, a little bit of a shame. So I'm not sure it's a huge deal now. But we've seen, over and over again in the history of the Pokemon trading card game, cards that weren't good, and cards that nobody cared about, that ended up being really, really good. I mean, one of my favourite examples is Celebi Prime. Celebi Prime is one of the cards with which I grinded into the World Championships in 2012. I love me some Celebi Prime. And that card was in Triumphant in November 2010, and Triumphant was a phenomenal set where all the Primes are really good, but initially Celebi was seen as the one that wasn't. People did not like Celebi Prime. Had a really nice ability that could attach an extra grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. People hated it. And it was actually a couple months after release in February 2011. It was popped into the World of Illusions box. And I remember when this box was announced and released, people hated it. People hated the idea that Celebi would be put into this box because Celebi was rubbish and nobody liked Celebi, and why couldn't they have put one of the good primes in? Celebi was for a long time like a $2-3 card. Nobody wanted Celebi. Then Mewtwo came out. And Celebi Mewtwo became one of the very, very, very best decks in the entire game. And then Celebi was great again. And the point of this story is, Celebi was a garbage card that ended up being one of the very best cards in the entire game. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with Morpeko. I'm really not. But I am saying that we've seen enough times in the past when bad cards have become good that we cannot discount the fact that this could be good. It's got an attack that draws until you got 10 cards in your hand. It's got an attack that can potentially one-hit KO V-Maxes and V-Stars. It is not inarguably rubbish. And that's my point. And if it's not inarguably rubbish, then it could be good. And if it ends up being good, then we end up in this weird situation where if it is as low stock as it looks like it could be, that's going to cause problems, ladies and gentlemen. That could cause some big problems. So there we go. Maybe there'll be a reprint, maybe there'll be more stock, but as it stands at the moment, stores are not able to order many of these at all. It looks like it's going to be very low stock on release, and if you're interested in this card like I am, if you want to get this card like I do, I think this is one of those sooner rather than later deals. You have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You have been warned. Or maybe it ends up being nothing. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. So let me know in the comment section. Are you excited about this? Are you worried about it? Is this something you're going to be picking up? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! Was that too aggressive? Might have been. I usually say it gentler. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.